Right now at 6, high-rise housing around Bay Area transit hubs.
It's a moment of validation. It's a moment of celebration.
The controversial new law that just got the governor's approval.
Anytime you take the voice away from the people, that's where things are going to get dangerous.
Plus, no Blue Angels, no problem for the Fleet Week Airshow.
It's so cool that we have this right in our backyard.
We'll have the highlights, plus our Lauren Toms takes to the sky in a biplane like the one used in Mission Impossible. And later, a red and gold love story. We'll introduce you to a woman who adopted the 49ers as her team to honor her late husband.
I told him that I was going to always do my very best to keep my husband's legacy alive.
This is CBS News Bay Area with Juliette Goodrich.
Good evening, I'm Sarah Donchi. Juliet has the night off tonight. It is a big win for Yimbys across California. You know, the Yes in My Backyard folks. One of the most controversial bills of the year just got the signature of Governor Newsom. Senate Bill 79 loosens and even overrides restrictions on housing developments near public transit hubs and other land owned by transit agencies. That includes buildings up to 9 stories tall right next to stations. The bill applies to 8 of the state's most densely populated counties. 4 of them are right here in the Bay Area, in places loaded with transit hubs for BART, Caltrain, and VTA. Advocates say this could put a major dent in the housing crisis, but as long as the project meets certain requirements, local officials and neighbors won't be able to stop it, and that's what has the opponents of this worried. Da Lin spoke with both sides today.
This new law will transform communities with large and busy transit hubs. Supporters say it'll help bring down housing costs. Opponents say it'll strip local control and threatens the character of their neighborhoods.
It's got the kind of quaint charm of an older city, a hometown vibe, and it's also got the kind of edginess of the city on the outskirts.
Xander Paisano moved to San Francisco's Glen Park neighborhood about 8 months ago, and in that time, he's fallen in love with it.
It's growing on me, especially this little area here, Glen Park. It's got a special place in my heart now.
He worries the new law, Senate Bill 79, could change the neighborhood, especially if high-rise apartment buildings go up around the Glen Park BART station. But he also supports the bill's intention, making homes more affordable.
If it can lower the rent, that's always a good thing. But with that, there's pluses and negatives as well.
One of the main supporters, California Yimbys, spent 8 years pushing for this bill before the governor finally signed it into law.
It's a moment of validation. It's a moment of celebration. And really, it's a moment for the work to get started in actually implementing these laws.
The new law only applies to 8 California counties with the most transit hubs: San Diego, Orange, Los Angeles, Sacramento, San Francisco, San Mateo, Santa Clara, and Alameda counties. Developers will be allowed to build up to 9 stories high next to subway stops. The closer the site, the taller the building. And the law overrides local zoning rules and neighborhood objections.
Angered, we're disappointed, we're frustrated.
Susan Kirsch, founder of Catalyst for Local Control, is one of many who oppose SB 79. Even Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass asked Governor Newsom to veto the bill, arguing it erodes local control, limits community input, and could hurt low-income neighborhoods.
The affordability part of it is a part of what is the big scam that many of us think, that these buildings are not, they have no assurances, no promises of meeting the needs for those people who are living on even minimum wages.
California Yimby disagrees, saying it's simple economics. Increasing supply will eventually lower prices. State Senator Scott Wiener, the bill's author, says local housing policies in many cities have created the affordability crisis, and it's time for the state to step in.
For a long time, we had essentially pure local control on housing, and so it was a race to the bottom.
The state has an obligation for human health and well-being to step in when you have local control that's run amok and really is actually hurting a lot of people.
Paisano says he understands both sides and feels caught in the middle. He still believes local residents should have a voice, but he's also fed up with sky-high housing costs.
Change is coming. Bob Dylan said it the best, right? Times they are changing. We have to be prepared for the change.
The new law takes effect next summer on July 1st, 2026, but some opponents say they're already considering a legal challenge.
Bay Area Council President and CEO Jim Wonderson praised the new measure, saying in part, quote, amid rising rents and already too high home prices, measures like these are critical to making housing more affordable, increasing ridership on transit, and giving people the option of living closer to where they work. From land to sea to air, Fleet Week has taken over San Francisco. You might have heard the roar of jet engines this afternoon, but this year, of course, we've all talked about it. We've all heard about it. The Blue Angels are not here. Of course, that is also because of the government shutdown, but the weekend air shows will go on. Canada's snowbirds are taking top billing. The snowbirds are the pride of the Royal Canadian Air Force. Pilots flying these planes as close as 4 feet apart, and they're doing it at speeds over 350 miles per hour. And the Patriots jet team colored the skies red, white, and blue today. The civilian aerobatic team is based here in the Bay Area. And fun fact, the Patriots trained Tom Cruise and the cast of Top Gun Maverick on how to act when it comes to flying under extreme G-forces. They even did some of the aerial stunts seen in the movie. Well, despite the Blue Angels' absence, a lot of fans turned out for today's air show. Kenny Choi has more on that.
Spectators here today say that the crowds were a lot smaller. I've been to many air shows here as well, and that certainly seemed to be the case. But that didn't keep aviation enthusiasts from enjoying today's show.
It's so cool that we have this like right in our backyard, and I hope it doesn't go away or become smaller every year.
Wide body airliner, super huge, several hundred passengers, and you see it get thrown around the Bay Area like you'd never expect. Also the coolest thing ever.
So the crowds have dispersed for the day. What a beautiful day it was for the air show. KPIX5 will be covering it throughout the weekend.
Earlier this afternoon, we saw Greg Collier shoot through the skies in his T-33 Shooting Star. Greg is a mainstay here at the Fleet Week Air Show. He took our own Jessica Birch up in that very plane a few years ago. And just yesterday, our Lauren Toms got an exclusive ride in a different plane, just like the one in Mission Impossible.
From 1,000 feet above the San Francisco Bay, the city unfolds like a postcard. From the Golden Gate Bridge to the skyline, it's unlike any other. And for pilot and Army veteran Gregory Collier, this view is home.
Fleet Week was one of my first shows I ever saw as a kid, which inspired me to, hey, I want to do that when I grow up.
It's also his hometown view, one he gets to take in for the 15th time as he flies in the air show, soaring over the same skies that once inspired him as a kid.
Hopefully inspiring that next generation to go, I want to do that as a living, whether it's a pilot or an engineer or a mechanic, just inspiring that next generation that they could achieve their dreams as well.
He took me up for a spin in his 1940s Stearman biplane, the same model trained World War II aviators. 3, 2, 1. Now, it may look familiar. It's also the same kind used by Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning, as he dangled off the wing. Today, we chose to let him stick to the stunts. But for Fleet Week, this isn't the biplane you'll see. Collier, call sign Wired, takes to the skies in his T-33 Shooting Star.
And sometimes after it's done, I can still see my entire demo hanging there with the smoke.
It's America's first operational jet fighter and trainer, a piece of history that still screams with power.
When I land is when I get this big smile. I shut down the engine, I have this huge smile on my face, and that's when the rush hits.
These skies above San Francisco are more than a show. They're a story of inspiration and a hometown dream still taking flight.
We brought you part of the Fleet Week Air Show live on KPIX earlier. That was super fun. The weather was perfection. If you missed it, though, good news. We posted the full Fleet Week Spectacular Friday special on our website, kpix.com, and on the KPIX YouTube page. And you've also still got 2 chances to see the air show in person tomorrow and Sunday. Opening ceremonies kick off at 12:15 each day, followed by several civilian and international performers. It all leads up to the main event. The Canadian Snowbirds performance begins at 2:48 p.m. We truly could not have asked for better conditions for the air show today. Clear blue skies, no Blue Angels, but blue skies at least. How is the weekend looking, though? Let's bring in Chief Meteorologist Paul Hagen.
Looking good once again. There's a few fair weather clouds out there this evening, a few showers even in the North Bay, but we're going to be rain free as we head through the weekend. So if you're heading out to the Airshow or any of the other Fleet Week festivities tomorrow or Sunday, the weather in the city looks like it's going to be great. Temperatures topping out in the upper half of the 60s. Should see a few clouds in the morning. Otherwise, plenty of sunshine the rest of the day. But we are not done with the rain chances. Those are going to head our way as we head into early next week. Monday and Tuesday look like the rainiest days, and then some showers lingering in place on Wednesday. We're going to track that hour by hour with Futurecast coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, still ahead here at 6. Forever Faithful will introduce you to a 49ers fan who's honoring her late husband's fandom at every home game.
More than just a game. I just know that my husband's always here with me.
Plus, it's the last chance for San Mateo County's embattled sheriff to keep her job. What we're learning about the new hearing to determine her future. And a South Bay murder solved months later, how investigators tracked down a body buried in the Santa Clara County hills. San Mateo County Board of Supervisors could decide whether or not to oust embattled Sheriff Christina Corpus next week. The board will hold a special public meeting Tuesday morning. Judge James Emerson will present his 42-page advisory opinion on Corpus's case. He concluded the sheriff did violate laws related to her duties, and he found evidence that she engaged in conflicts of interest and acts of retaliation. Removal of the sheriff will require at least a 4/5 vote by the board. For the second time in 2 days, the California Highway Patrol is investigating a freeway shooting in Oakland. This one happened this morning on the I-80 off-ramp to southbound 880. The driver was struck in the head by a bullet fragment, but will be okay. No details on the suspect, though. And new details on Thursday's freeway shooting on Highway 24. We now know it was a 57-year-old Oakland resident who was arrested for opening fire on vehicles near Tunnel Road. 3 drivers reported their cars were hit. No one was hurt. A San Francisco man has been convicted for lighting multiple cars on fire back in February of last year. Armando Salvador was found guilty for setting fire to 8 cars, including 2 Tesla Model Ys and Soma. Police were able to identify him from surveillance footage. A big weekend for the banged-up 49ers. Sunday, they head to Tampa to take on the Buccaneers. It is a battle of first-place teams, and you can watch it right here on KPIX. This season is already memorable for one fan who is keeping her late husband's legacy alive at every single home game this year. Kevin Coe has more in this week's Faithful Experience.
Norma Jean Quesada still remembers her first date with her husband, Roger.
He asked me if I would come with him to his game.
A season ticket holder since Candlestick, Roger made it a routine to bring Norma Jean to watch his 49ers until he suddenly passed away last year.
I told him that I was going to always do my very best to keep my husband's legacy alive. He's got the best seats in heaven. His favorite number was 13. I have seat 13 and I have seat 14.
Norma Jean plans to keep her and Roger's season tickets as long as she can afford it. She moved to the Bay from Denver in 1977, so she still loves her hometown Broncos. But there isn't anything or anyone she loves more than her late husband. So how could she not love his 49ers?
More than just a game. I just know that my husband's always here with me. Bought me this beautiful red ruby ring for Valentine's Day one year. I will always carry him in my little urn that I wear in my ring here. And my husband loved hummingbirds, so I have a part of him right here in my heart.
Also in her heart are her memories with Roger, including his favorite moments on game days.
He loved the national anthem. Anytime that they would do the national anthem, my husband would sit here and he would videotape it, and he would actually cheer up.
As Norma Jean films in Roger's place, it's another small routine that makes up their favorite tradition, loving the team that brought them together and still keeps them together today.
He loved everybody, he loved his job, and he loved his San Francisco 49ers. And so the best thing that I can do to support my husband is keep his memory alive forever.
As we mentioned, you can watch the Niners take on the Buccaneers this Sunday right here on KPIX. Kickoff is at 1:25. Coming up, it's looking like more great weather for Fleet Week, but there is a big change on the way. Paul is tracking the timing.
Your community, your news, powered by KPIX. CBS News Bay Area. Watch anywhere, anytime. Stay informed and connected. Trusted local news when you want it. CBS News Bay Area. Watch free on any device.
San Jose police announced they found the body of a missing homeless man this week. He had been missing since June. Officers tracked down suspects near where the victim had last been seen. The three now have been charged with murder. The victim's family reported him missing on June 19th. Police found his bicycle on Wool Creek Drive near some bloodstains and bullet casings. Detectives found his remains yesterday. Police say circumstantial evidence led them to the hills above Saratoga near Highway 9. Cadaver dogs led them to the body.
Although we can never undo a life lost, we do hope that bringing this case to light with some sense of resolution brings a measure of closure for the community as well as the victim's loved ones.
Police have not discussed a possible motive for the killing. It is San Jose's 23rd homicide case this year. All right, many events to discuss happening in San Francisco ahead this weekend. The weather so far, heading into the weekend, has been very cooperative.
Yeah, a few showers out there this evening. They're not going to amount to a whole lot, but don't be alarmed if you see a couple sprinkles in the windshield. And then the weekend itself looks fine. Next week's going to be a different story. An early season storm system headed our way. So let's get into the details. First, what's out there right now. There are a few showers. This is first alert Doppler over the last hour. And let's zoom into Sonoma County, Marin County. This is light activity, but it is hitting the ground, at least a trace of moisture moving through the North Bay and could hold together as it approaches the Golden Gate within the next couple of hours. Let's switch over to the future radar through tomorrow morning. And it's picking up on the few showers that we have out there. But as we head through the rest of this evening and tonight, it shows those showers are going to be few and far between. So again, if you pick up a couple hundredths of an inch of rain, that's pretty much the upper limit of what we're going to be looking at. And then dry weather is going to prevail not only tomorrow morning, but through the rest of the weekend. We're going to start off the morning really with just a little bit of fog. Let's simulate that on the floor map. And the fog is going to spread across the bay and into the interior valleys. Also some cloud cover farther up in the atmosphere, but it doesn't take long for that to dissipate. So we should see a lot of sunshine for most of the day. Temperatures, though, are not going to warm up a lot. We're going to end up about 3 to 6 degrees below what's normal for this time of year. That means temperatures, once again, inland only reaching up into the 70s. 72 degrees in San Jose is about 5 degrees below average. East of the Oakland Hills, only low to mid 70s there, a mix of 60s and 70s around the bay with mid 60s at the coast. The North Bay warms up a little bit more. You had more clouds today that kept you mostly in the 60s. Instead, tomorrow with a lot of sunshine, you should climb up into the low 70s by tomorrow afternoon with very similar temperatures in store for us on Sunday. But we're not done with the rain chances yet. And the reason is this big swirl that has just been hanging out off the coast of the Pacific Northwest. That is the parent storm system that's been sending these little spokes of energy towards us. But this thing is going to get energized, kind of supercharged as we head into early next week, and that is going to direct a plume of moisture towards the Bay Area. It's going to give us a good chance of the first widespread rain that we have seen in a while. So let's take a look at Futurecast. This is from midnight Sunday night through 5 a.m. Monday morning. Not a whole lot showing up before sunrise, but you see the moisture just beginning to show up offshore. That is going to move in pretty good hurry as we head through the first half of the day on Monday. So a few showers for the morning commute. Those showers become a little bit heavier, even outside chance of a couple rumbles of thunder as we head through Monday. And the heaviest rain is likely to fall a little bit later in the day. This forecast model only gives us data through 3 p.m. Monday, but you look at the widespread rain, including some embedded heavy downpours here. It's why we're outlining Monday already as a first alert weather day. I would anticipate some slowdown to the Monday morning commute, and then I would anticipate very slow conditions for the Monday evening commute, and we are going to add up a decent amount of rain overall. This is the estimate from the Weather Prediction Center for different rainfall totals, and there's not a whole lot of variation here. It doesn't matter if you're in the South Bay, east of the Oakland Hills, or in the North Bay, or along the coast. They're saying everybody pretty much is going to be within 1.4 and 1.9 inches of total rainfall. As this system comes into better focus, I think we'll be able to kind of tweak some of those numbers up and down to give you a better sense of exactly what to expect. Even if we picked up half this much that would pretty much do it for the fire season around the Bay Area. And this is going to be a statewide impact event. And we're going to be seeing a winter storm watch, in effect, likely upgraded to either a winter weather advisory or winter storm warning for the High Sierra, specifically above 6,500 feet in elevation. That's where they're going to add up generally 4 to 8 inches of snow, but some spots in the higher peaks could pick up 2 feet of snow as we head through the first half of next week. So here's the 7-day forecast. Again, a nice weekend. Inland temperatures well into the 70s, and then you drop to the 60s for a couple of days. We'll get down to some lingering showers on Wednesday, and then we clear out by Thursday and Friday of next week. Again, the heaviest rain Monday and Monday night, kind of steady light rain on Tuesday, and then some off and on showers on Wednesday. Not going to be a washout, but not going to be dry yet either. Bayside, it's a similar temperature trend. The coolest days will be the rainiest days on Monday and Tuesday. And even the coast, you'll be able to notice a drop in temperatures as the rain moves in. And then we're back to closer to normal temperatures by the end of next week. So the first significant rain event of the season doesn't look at this point like it's going to reach the threshold of an atmospheric river. We'll talk more about that coming up at 7.
All right, Paul, thank you so much. We appreciate it. When we come back, a show of unity during Fleet Week, how Colombia's Navy paid tribute to its hosts here in San Francisco. And here's a look at what's ahead on the CBS Evening News.
Now you can get your KPIX news, weather, and live stream all in one place on the CBS News app. Download it free today.
Okay, back to Fleet Week, and this was part of the Airshow from today. I was out there near the St. Francis Yacht Club, and it's one thing to look at this on video. It's another thing to see this in person. The United Airlines 777 soaring low over the bay, doing things that we almost never get to see a commercial jet do, pulling all kinds of maneuvers, pulling up, pulling down. It was actually a little bit scary at times from that perspective, but still a sight to behold. Now let's get you a look at the ships that are stepping in this Fleet Week in absence of the U.S. Navy. The Royal Canadian Navy's HMCS Nanaimo arrived to the bay earlier today. It's docked at Pier 19. It'll be open for tours to the public starting Sunday. And Pier 15 to 17 houses the flagship of the Colombian Navy, ARC Gloria. It got here yesterday, and today the crew held a special flag-raising ceremony to honor America. ARC Gloria is also open for tours. Among those who checked the ship out today, a Bay Area man originally from Colombia.
Huge pride, it really is. It's amazing to have them come all the way here, especially on Fleet Week, so it makes it extra special.
My favorite weekend of the year.
Yeah, we actually got engaged 9 years ago, exactly on Fleet Week. Yeah. And it is my birthday, I have to plug it, so yeah, so it's a very special day.
The ship will be open 8:30 to 4 Saturday, all day Sunday, 8:30 to noon Monday at Pier 1517. The CBS Evening News is next on KPIX.